Hello, does everybody see me okay? Let me make sure I'm all set up here. Am I set up? Let's see. I'm a one-man show today. How is everybody? Good? I think I've got everything set up here. Hold on. Should have done this before I came on. I apologize. Okay, there I am. Oh my God, I just turned on and I saw all of your beautiful faces. Hello, welcome. Hi, Cynthia. Good to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Jiggy Pardo Lord. Good to see you. Welcome. Did I get, oh, I do have my drink here. Spirits Beyond the Stars. Hello. And Dylan, welcome. Sue Malik. Thank you for being here. Yeah, good to be home. Good to be home. Hi, AMC, Deborah Murphy, Katrine, Estella Basso, Yolanda Randa. Oh, I love your name. I love saying your name. Oh, you were in the hospital. Oh my God. Clusters. Oh, was it viral? That sounds like disseminated intravascular coagulation. I do hope you'll be feeling better soon. That's very terrifying, Yolanda. Everybody, if they could send positive healing love to Yolanda, that would be great. Hi, Donald Lampert. Good to see you. Oh, COVID. Yeah, because my head, I'm a doctor. So when we think about things like that, yeah. Hi, Janet. Good to see you. Oh, goody. Debbie Brady's here. Everybody get a shout out to the incredible creative director, talent manager, the unbelievable Debbie Brady. Also, thank you to Debbie Brady, who has done our fan pages over at Facebook. Please think about joining them. What did I want to say about that? Yes, once a month we pick somebody for the reading. I did not get it. Oh, yes. I wanted to also mention that we have our book of the month. Once a month, we pick a book from an independent author or writer who, is part of the channel community. Anyway, so we are reading a very fascinating book. Very fascinating. It's called Wingo Fly. It's a novella. It's very easy reading. You should be able to get through it. It's a real page turner. It goes real quick. Kim Hines is the author. Kim Hines. And the last Tuesday of January, we will be having Kim Hines with Chuck Dransfield. We'll be doing some readings from the book. It's a fascinating book about an African-American community, a young girl, she grows up. It has almost like a metaphysical science, almost like a science fiction meets African American folk biography. It's very cool. The Second Sight, alternate worlds. This is some good stuff. She's like the soul sister of Harlan Ellison, if you love that sort of magical writing. Anyway, thank you, Kim Hines. Be sure and check out her book. I believe you can get it on Amazon. All right, next thing up, we're raising money for global anti-hunger programs. Focus, of course, is on the war with Ukraine, just because in winter, most people die in war zones. It's never good to be in a war zone, but it's particularly bad to be in a war zone in winter. So helping the affected people in Ukraine. This has been put up by Google. Thank you to our sponsors over at Google. Over $2 million raised so far. Give a shout out to you as well for being a part of that fundraiser. Okay. Well, how are you? Oh, is Chuck here? Somebody? Oh, Chuck. Oh, hi, Chuck. I got to make him a moderator. As you know, Chuck Dransfield is He's an actor. He's a wonderful person. He's a character actor. He's also the co-star of Taco Tuesdays. We'll be back this Tuesday. If you like the lighter, more whimsical part of card reading without all the politics, if you need a break, Tuesdays we get together for a little happy hour. Drink what you like. I drink tea usually, but sometimes Chuck has a glass of wine. And we talk Tuesdays. No, we talk tacos, and we talk pop culture. It's a lot of fun. And we read some great books, right? We read some great books. Okay, so what do you guys want to talk about? I mean, there's some heavy remotes. There's some heavy meditations. The Democratic Party is going through something. I'm always honest with you guys, right? About when I look at data and I sit and I meditate and I try and put things together. And I think that the rumors about Joe Biden stepping down are starting to develop some legitimacy, just because, not because Joe Biden isn't a nice guy, and not because I blame him for the current destabilization, in South America, weak democracies collapsing, right? So we can't, or the COVID disaster, which, you could have a conversation about whether or not China should be paying some kind of reparations globally, because their inability to take responsibility for their own public health costs the lives of millions of people, right? And many others permanently disabled. So you could argue that, right? Then there's the conversation that if China's economy goes down because of COVID, the loss of revenue, trade, etc., it made everything worse for China, particularly since they were relying on the profits of tourism, etc., to prop themselves up, prop up their infrastructure, not prop up, but begin to build infrastructure, particularly if you're looking at, diversifying trade routes in places like Africa, etc. Agreed? We've talked about this, right? So I guess the conversation that we can have now is, well, let's first talk about China. Do you think China is too big to fail, and that we as the world have to come together and start helping the Chinese economy? Or are you more dire in your predictions and you think, well, they're the ones that didn't control their public health issue, and let them collapse, let their banks collapse? Where do we go from here? Because on the one hand, you want to be vengeful, right? Well, we're going to get back at you because of what you did. But then the other thing is you have to kind of step above it and not put so much emotion to it and think, well, what's ultimately going to balance the global economy, right? What's ultimately going to get us back into balance? And that could mean having honest conversations about how to make sure that China doesn't go under, right? Because China going under is not necessarily good for anybody, right? I know some of you all don't agree with that, but we can talk about that. So then it comes to everything else we've been talking about in terms of what's going on in the world. So we have a couple things going on in the world all at once. We have the post-COVID world, right? We've talked a lot about that, what that did to the global economy. And then you want to blame somebody. You want to blame Trump. You want to blame Biden. I do think that Trump was a public health disaster just as a doctor. But so regardless, we have to go forward. COVID is still wreaking havoc on the economy, right? So we have to be able to look at that. And the second thing we have to look at is destabilizations, right, that are taking place all over the world. And there's a lot of reasons why the world is becoming destabilized. We've talked about this for a long time, right? Competition about trade wars, new infrastructure, new trade routes that are happening, that are being opened up between China and Russia. So you have all of this destabilization happening because of competition, and unstable democracies are kind of going belly up, right? Then, of course, you have global warming, where some parts of the world are becoming so hot, life is not possible, right? So that's also causing a shift, right? So is it then appropriate to say, well, all of this is due to, Joe Biden? I mean, fentanyl crisis, which you could argue is also part of just in general, global health, right? The fact that Americans are having health crisis in the sense that they can't pay for their own health care. So we have to be, so immigration. So the thing I was going to say about global warming, of course, with that destabilization and global warming, you have this huge migration patterns, right? So people being treated like, look, when people are scared, which is part of human nature. Hi, my love. Who are you going to blame? You're going to blame the people seeking asylum, et cetera, right? So there's a lot going on in terms of just whether or not we can keep the boat afloat. War, of course, which again, if you break it down, people will talk about religion or anything else, but most of the wars, if you really look objectively at war in Ukraine, Gaza, and Israel, it's really just trade routes and this kind of competition between the East and the West. Yeah, when we all do good. So that kind of goes back to my prediction, which is that we move. Oh, my allergies are a lot better. I cleaned. I had an air filter. It's my cat. I mean, it's starting to come back a little bit. But yeah, when my cat was gone, I stopped coughing. I mean, I love her, but she's really, I'm really allergic to her. Anyway, so my point is that, my prediction would be moving towards cooperation rather than conflict, because when you look at all of the complexities and stresses, the only thing that's going to happen if we continue this us versus them is that we're headed towards a very bad future, right? So that's why I think I really see people working very hard in 2024, like improving relations with China. Being adversarial to China right now is not ultimately good for the planet. I guess that's what I'm saying. Instead of working with them and saying, okay, how do we fix what's broken so that you don't go under? Because if you go under, we go under. You see what I'm saying? Similar to some of these ideas that are getting talked about in terms of global warming. Like I read some really cool things I told you about, like certain types of satellites, etc. So I'm actually optimistic. I mean, when you think about it, I think that, look, most people are not in a death cult. Most people do not want to blow up. No, most people are not looking forward to Armageddon or, mass collective, creation of this kind of thing. Most people are like, forget this crap. How do we fix it? And so for that reason, I think humanity is headed towards cooperation. If you guys get something else, let me know. But that's what I'm picking up. Hi, Katrine. Good to see you. I didn't see Joel. Is Joel not here today? Is he away? Oh, I guess he's not in today. That's too bad. You guys want to do the Impass prayer? Maybe do some cards. We'll start with the collective reading. Would you guys like to have a little reading for yourselves? Oh, Fannie Willis, I don't know anything about that, but I can certainly look at that stuff. I mean, if you just stand back and look at all of the court cases and everything else against Trump, the fact that states don't even want him on the ballot, the fact that he's looking at hundreds of millions of dollars in debt from multiple, I mean, come on. Charges, Georgia, New York, federal charges pending for, come on. It's so over. I mean, the first thing they're doing is they're just dismantling him. I mean, the Trump organization is finished. I mean, it's not just that it's over, it's that they're dismantling it so slowly. And also, as a physician, I've always seen things that have me concerned, like he's not healthy, for a number of reasons. Okay, you guys want to do the Impass prayer? A little bit about the Impass prayer. No one ever wrote the Impass prayer. It was kind of like a collective thing that this group wrote. When did we write that? Like 5 years ago? People wrote their request. And so I put it all together, and you guys wrote it. So for that reason, yes, you can reprint it. People want to put it in their books. People write. Yes, it's because it is not owned by anyone. Absolutely. Oh, you love my long hair. Thank you very much. Yes, I have a very nice hairstylist who uses like a lot of natural stuff. It's really great. It's like you can do this naturally. Yeah, and Brian, yeah, he like feeds you nutrition, like nutrients and stuff for your hair. He like loves your hair. He doesn't murder your hair. He loves your hair. Yeah, so he's always checking my hair to see if it's happy. And yes, it's very nice. Part of loving yourself, let yourself be pampered a little bit. Did I get to everything today? I'm sorry. Was that everything we were supposed to do? Oh, new FDA there's heavy regulations coming in very aggressively regarding insecticides. That was something that came up. I don't know if you all know about this, but I don't even know if it's hit the press yet. But expect really aggressive global to clean up stuff that's in the environment. Well, that's attacking like certain populations of things, insecticides. That was something I thought was interesting. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do the Impass prayer and collective, unless somebody has an announcement to make. No, I'm home. I'm not in Israel. And I'm very glad to be here. I was glad to be there, and I'm glad to be here. All right, let's do the Impass. Oh, hi, Tawny. Check out Tawny Acosta. She is a amazing woman. She is an activist for the LGBTQ community. She's a therapist. She's also a public speaker, and she's under Debbie Brady management if you need her to come and speak at your event. Good to see you here. All right, let's do the Impass prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. I was also going to mention, has anyone seen this film footage of people in Iran dancing as protest? Dancing and celebrating and laughing and having dance parties in the streets of Tehran because they've banned public displays of dancing. So people have responded like bringing out their boom boxes and dancing. I just thought that was a beautiful way of protesting while at the same time. Thank you, everyone who said I didn't say the prayer. It's a wonderful thing to see protesting that is kind of celebrating life, and human beings celebrating life, just being able to dance in the streets and be in joy, and to uh, be willing to risk your life to be joyful too, and showing the absurdity of that kind of subjugation of other people, right? Okay, let's take a look at what everybody's week looks like based on the cards, based on the archetypes. Let's take a look. What archetypes are coming in? Okay, where you are at right now, the base of the matter, laid low. It goes back to what I had said about this particular time. We have been laid low. COVID, the war, global warming, mass exoduses of people from their homes, people manipulating other people's religions to get them to go fight their wars for them. These ultimately stepping back from all the religious stuff and seeing that the puppet masters just want to they're just competing for trade, right? We've talked about the significance of, when the US pulled out of Syria, right? Hezbollah, Iran, Russia moves in, right? This ability to get rid of the noise and just stand back. This is one of the things I noticed with a lot of people in Israel. They were enamored with, we're going to have the embassy in Jerusalem, as if that's going to replace U.S. troops withdrawing out of Syria, right? I mean, it's like the shiny little ball, little precious, right? And missing the forest through the trees, right? Which is another example of what leaves us vulnerable. But the base of the matter is 10 of Swords, which is to be laid low or devastated, right? So the thing I would always say about the 10 of Swords is that the 10 of Swords has an aspect that the person has been completely wiped out. They feel like they've lost everything, but then the sun comes up, right? So the sun comes up over the sadness. And then the karma card is the sun comes up. How did she do that? She's magical. Yes. Well, you can also see here, if you look at the 10 of Swords in the back, you can see the sun is coming up. And the takeaway from that is that when you think about that archetype, is that this too shall pass, right? Even when you're laid low, it's dark, but then comes the dawn. I feel like I need to get some. Are you guys okay if I just grab some water? Take a second to. I didn't get my morning water. Hold on a second. All right, I'm back. All right, so first house is Magician card. Again, it kind of goes back to what I was saying, which is this idea that we enter into a time of empowerment. Look, we can sit around and be depressed about everything horrible that's happening in the world. I just listed them because I want us to have a conversation. Or there comes a point when you have to say, okay, we got to stop crying and now try to get organized and try, we can still grieve, but we've at least got to try and come up with a solution. It's interesting that the first house is Magician. So what goes on in the larger world is also what's going on in our own personal lives, which is that maybe you've gone through tough times, or maybe you've gone through what you think is like your darkest time. But now this is a time where the sun comes out, the person's in a place of the Magician. You may be feeling like now you have power that you didn't have before. Also, Five of Wands is crossing you, and I love that card. We've talked about some of what inspired the artist. I don't know if you've ever studied Shakespeare or the Merry Men, the Merry Men, what are they called? The Chamberlain Men? Yes, the Chamberlain. So this group of artists and writers that to get together and they put on a play, right? So Five of Wands is really actors. It was inspired by actors that were constructing a stage. So a lot of the time people look at it and say, oh, they're fighting, they're fighting. But when you really take a look, it's just actors that are coming together and they're putting up what's going to be a performance. You've got the Chamberlain, these are Shakespeare's men putting together to put a play together. So many artists, actors will get the Five of Wands, particularly if they're going into production for something. I'll often see this card. Five of Wands crossing, like I said, it's an education card. It's when people come together, maybe they're diverse, maybe they come from diverse backgrounds and they construct something. So you have this power with you, and you also have the Five of Wands, which would indicate that you're working together to construct something. What's above you is joy. Three of Cups is the card that has to do with joy. It's the dancing girls. So they're like entering into this state of joy. And what you sit in is you do not compromise your ethics in the process. It's like this idea that you want to be careful where you get your money from, right? You never want to have blood money, right? For example, you don't want to make up, you can't morally or ethically take money from a war zone, right? So that would be the exact opposite of somebody who's a warmonger, right? Because then they make a profit from, right? So you have to stick with your ethics in life. If you have a Four of Cups sitting with you, you have a choice. You can be in joy, or you can begin to bend a little bit with your ethics. So Four of Cups is somebody who's really, they refuse to compromise, right? So the joy is in the fact that you refuse to compromise. So if you're working on anything, say, for example, you want to get your PhD. I just spoke to someone recently. She's working on, brilliant woman working on her PhD, brilliant. And this is exactly what we were talking about. How much is she willing to give to, her work is very important, right? So she takes her work seriously because if she doesn't, nobody else is going to, right? So when you get the kind of energy of Nine of Pentacles coming in, it's somebody who has confidence in their vision, because Nine of Pentacles is about holding on to what you have. And it's the wealth of what you have. But nobody is in life is going to take your work seriously if you don't take your work seriously, right? But when you really begin to put the hours into whatever it is you're trying to create, a great painting, a great book, like the book that Kim Hines wrote, the degree to which it's taken seriously, the degree to which it achieves its purpose is greatly based on how much you take your work seriously. The other thing is that they say you don't have to fight with people in order to avoid a conflict. Like, it's going back to this whole idea of it's really hard to fight with people that refuse to fight you, right? So Five of Swords is coming into the sixth house, which is the ability to dismantle your critics. What's also interesting is to have this kind of confidence, self-confidence, and faith in oneself is the greatest way to dismantle your critics. A new beginning comes to you. Others you're having issue with offer you love. So you could be even making peace or love with people you have conflicts with. Hopes and fears, Ten of Pentacles, family of origin, or your own family dynamic could be a conflict for you right now. Nine of Cups means your wish has been granted. The clarification for you right now is, despite all the confusion that you've gone through in life, the clouds part, and you're entering into a time not only through education, but faith in your own vision for your future, You wind up really solid. The emperor is like the king, the solid king, and then Nine of Cups. The king gets his wish. So the takeaway here is that if you keep yourself cool, calm, collected, you prioritize what it is you want to achieve, you don't let yourself get overwhelmed, work on taking care of yourself, and don't let yourself get bogged down by what has happened or the negativity in the past. Instead, learn from it and propel yourself towards something positive. In terms of the macrocosm, the sun is coming out as the good people of the world, which are the vast majority, run towards solutions. You have to understand the karma card is the sun. We will get through this. All right. Did you guys enjoy your collective reading? Good stuff, right? Let me see what I'm doing here. Oh, thank you, everybody, by the way, who has donated to food relief for Ukraine. We're partnering with Google. We've been working with them, unfortunately, since the war in Ukraine started. And with donations from Google, over $2 million have been raised over the last couple of years. So thank you, everyone. Okay, anything else we need to do? Are we ready to do some blitzes? Are we ready to blitz away? Anything else I need to know? I was glad to be in Israel. It was nice. People are very sad because of all the terrible things that are happening. So nobody wants to be in that. That's very painful. But there were also a lot of good people. The majority of people were there were blood draws everywhere. I saw people donating blood. I confess I did not. I was a little scared because I tend to run anemic, so I probably should have done it. I didn't do it, but yeah. So there were a lot of things people were doing, volunteering. If you couldn't donate blood, though, there were other things that people were doing. So yeah. So on the one hand, it was very, very sad. A lot of crying every day, people crying, people having breakdowns on the streets, including me. I mean, just getting lost, tired, and stomach bug, and you're just a mess. I think at one point I was in this market and I was just so sick. I literally sat in a busy market, a tikva market. People thought I was insane. I was just so sick and I couldn't find my way back to my Airbnb. And I just kind of I'm so sick. But the other positive part of it is that, you start to see some stuff. And one of the things you observe is the people that run to save themselves. Like when you're sick and you just need someone to show you where the address is, and my Wi-Fi wasn't working, and I had gotten food poisoning on the plane, and most people wanted to avoid me like the plague because they thought, oh, there goes another crazy lady. But then some fun Russian guys came by. And they kind of picked me up, and I know, so yeah, most people are helping each other. So that's good. All right. So people want to talk about the elections. You guys want to talk about the election? You guys want to talk about the Trump lawsuits? How are you guys feeling about all of this? Are you guys looking like Nikki Haley is the person to beat? Do you think that Joe Biden is going to step down due to age because of growing concerns that Nikki Haley could beat him? If these crises that are all happening at once, if we don't begin to address them, it doesn't matter who's it really doesn't matter who's running the country given the crisis globally. The question is, if we stay with Biden, What do you guys think? Do you still want to see Biden, or if we were to have another quick primary and pick someone like Gavin Newsom, would you be okay with that? Or would you be like, no, absolutely not, Biden 100%? Let's take a vote on it. Oh, thank you, Jean Dorsey. That's very sweet. Oh, hi, 1111. 1111 is our benefactor. He's also an amazing musician and artist. And I won't release your real name, but he's got a great album coming out in 9 months. He's pregnant right now. It's a brilliant artist who's pregnant right now. And thank you for being the benefactor of this channel. Much appreciation. Unable to, yeah, sometimes you can't donate. I had stomach flu. I was not in a good place. It's one of those situations too, where, knowing me, and I was like, Whimsy, walk away from that. You're a physician. You don't even know if you've cleared the virus. I was like, you know what? If I was my doctor, I would tell me, you can't donate blood right now. You could be contagious, Sometimes we want to love and do good things, but we're actually not necessarily. The best thing that we can do is actually stay in bed, right? So that's part of what I did too, is I stayed in bed and wrote annoying letters to Knesset members. And of course, none of them respond. They probably all went. The point is I felt in my mind like I was doing something important, even if it wasn't, Well, stressful times, you want to, even if it's baking a cake, I don't know if you've ever been in situations where someone's in a hospital or something like that, and you just feel terrible and you feel like you've got to do something. So you wind up in the kitchen, you just don't know what to do. So the idea is that you're trying to do something, right? So most of you are going with Joe Biden. No, Obama's done. And he's also not eligible. No, Biden's on the ballot. Biden will be on the ballot. The question is, people are saying there's talk that Biden should step down and that somebody else should run because of his age. And I just wanted to, I think we have a good group here. Most of you, we don't have a lot of Republicans, but we do have Republicans, independent. A lot of you are independents, some Democrats. So I just wanted to get your guys' opinion about it. There's no right or wrong, by the way. It's like, this is a salon environment. We don't scream at each other. We just are friends that talk. Yeah, I don't think Trump's going to be eligible for running. I think he's going down pretty quickly, and I don't think he's handling it very well. I don't think any of us would handle it very well. Okay, let's start with some blitzes. What do you think will happen with the documents case with Cannon being a MAGA for Trump? Yeah, let's take a look. That's so bizarre that she would. That's the thing that I can't get over is how could the coup, January 6th, happen without everybody not knowing what happened? Let's see. He's got that female attorney, right? I'm seeing. You know what? I have to do this again because I'm a little disoriented with this. So, from whose perspective? I think that's what's confusing me. From Trump's perspective, or from? I guess I'm a little confused. Okay, let me just see. I'll look at it from Trump's perspective. It's very sad. I'll tell you where my emotions go when I look at these pictures. I mean, first off, Two of Swords is to This is somebody who's stubborn. He's not listening, right? Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, la 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 la. The card, the opposition card is fear of poverty, a man who's being abandoned. I just get this. You honestly know this feeling? See, I don't, people are like upset that want to vote for Trump. This looks like his base with the money is abandoning him, and all eyes are on Nikki Haley. He's in denial about what's going on. They've walked away from him, the impoverished guy, instead schmoozing with somebody else, the lovers, right? Lovers is about reaching, going off, and you're off with somebody else. And then the final outcome is he's defending his territory. It's not looking too good for him, because yeah. No, I'm sorry, guys, if that are supporting Trump. It's yeah, it's people think anybody else got a different interpretation. Knock yourselves out. Any card readers here? This is his future. You wanna talk to people about? Talk to them. Talk to them. Well, 7 of Wands. I mean, how many cases? How many? You're defending yourself against multiple accusations or multiple attacks. So, if this is what he's got to look forward to, 7 of Wands, it would indicate that it's just he's attacked from multiple angles. So, yeah, you can't look at that energy and think anything other than the fact that he's pretty much doomed. Okay, so the Supreme Court regarding 14th Amendment. I don't really I need to reread what the 14th Amendment actually says, but is this the one where because he's treason he can't, right? Because he engaged in. Let's take a look. You know what? This is bad. I mean, I don't see Roberts voting. I just don't see it in the cards for him. I don't see. Maybe it would be 6-3 against him, 7-2 against him, because again, denial. Look at his results. Devastation. Devastated. You're here with me. Again, those of you who are readers, am I missing something here? Like 10 of Swords, laid low, refuses to believe it. Archangel Michael, the truth is coming out. In a mental state of confusion. Look at this. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, so it's interesting. Well, Nikki Haley, we can throw cards on her. I think she can win. I think that if people start blaming everything that's going on that we talked about, at the beginning today, if we can somehow blame him for COVID, and what it did globally, the economic impact, if we can blame him for, the migration problems due to global warming, come on, folks. Immigration is up. Yes, because the crisis is only getting worse. Because more countries, more unstable democracies are collapsing. It has nothing to do with, and the same thing would be going on whether it was Trump or Biden, in the sense that because the cause, if you're looking at causation, that you have to just look at the cause, and the cause is global warming, civil war, destabilizing country. What's going on in Ecuador, what's going on in Venezuela. Um, but do you think the average voter is savvy enough to stand back and look at trade routes and look at competition between East and West and see the consequences when the U.S. pulled out? Do you think the average person's maybe they are? I don't know. Let's take a look at Nikki Haley. Yeah, let's take a look at Nikki Haley. Oh no, I had a terrible cough in Los Angeles. Yeah. Okay, Nikki Haley. Yeah, I think she's going to take the nomination. You can see joy and celebration. 3 of Cups stands with Nikki Haley. Opposition, 9 of Pentacles. You could have them holding on to coin, or she may be having some. She's going to start getting financial backing. I think that people are holding their purse until they see what she does in New Hampshire. Let's see how she does. But you've got this coin around her. The hopes and the fears, if she can go all the way, the 3 of Wands, the wish card going over, waiting for your ship to come in, right? Final outcome is 10 of Cups. So yeah, I think she's going to be very hard to beat. Yeah, she wins the nomination. In terms of whether or not she can win the presidency, it's very possible, yes. She's, people want something different. They want something different than Joe Biden. They're going to blame him and Obama administration. Look, he's an extension of Obama. People will get confused, right? But you can see 3 of Cups is with the Knight of Cups, and Knight of Cups is to be wooed, right? So somebody is wooing her, and then her opposition hangs it up. So again, it's very obvious to me. Hopes and fears to be the woman, and then over the 10 of Cups, she gets the Ace of Wands. She gets the nomination. Also, Ace of Wands. We're really going to have to. If people see Biden as this old stumbling guy who's sexist, if they market him like that, oh, look, the Democrats are even more sexist than us Republicans. Well, we got a woman coming for president, and she's part Indian. They're going to use. You have to put yourself in the shoes of, if you were a GOP strategist, what would you do to get the independent? You would say, well, look at us. Our nominee is a woman, so what's with you accusing us of being sexist? They got some old guy, some geezer, right? And he has a history of sexism against women, right? Chip away. So you can expect that. And they accused us of racism, but look, she's part Indian. You see what I'm saying? You have to think like a strategist. And then people will look at that and say, well, that's true. She is a woman. Well, she is biracial. Well, that's true. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be very, very hard for any, she's going to be tough to beat, because even if the guy is a strong debater, he can't bully her. It's just, but yeah, he's got a 10 of Cups with an Ace of Wands. So we'll see. How icky will Nikki Haley be? she endorsed Trump, and I think that is going to hurt her. If anything is going to hurt her with independents, it's when in the debates with Biden, which I think is where we're headed, people are going to ask her about January 6th, about pardoning Trump, about the fact that she had previously endorsed Trump, and ask her point blank, does this crazy seem normal to you? Because if this crazy is normal to you, then you're an extension of the crazy, right? So a good points also with Veronica, issues regarding a woman's right to choose, abortion issues, etc. She's probably in trouble there. Oh, wait a minute. So Mary, okay, the same big donors behind Haley as with Trump. In my humble opinion, Haley is just in case we need her candidate. Yeah, I don't think Trump, voters are getting turned off Trump, and his, when they asked Iowa voters, their number one complaint was they felt like his constant legal problems would steer him away from serving, which I think is a legitimate concern, whether you like the guy or not. Does his legal woes prevent him from serving effectively? So I thought that was kind of interesting. Maybe we'll do one or two more. Trump having medical issues, something people talk about. Look, in Parkinson's, right? These are the kinds of things that people talk about. In Parkinson's, if a person is stumbling forward, right? If they have trouble with their gait, particularly the first step, leaning forward, that can be a sign of Parkinson's. People have talked about prefrontal orbital dementias, etc. I don't think anyone could be diagnosing, but you have to admit that the older people get, the more likely they are to see mental decline. And that's something that we have to take into consideration if we have somebody in the White House that is a senior. We have to be honest about it. We experience cognitive decline as we age. There are things we can do to slow down cognitive decline as we age, but we also have to be honest about it. And increased risk for Alzheimer's with, every year you get older, you increase your risk for Alzheimer's. So, yeah, we have to have honest conversations like that. That's important. Let's look. Oh, look at it. Yes. Is it possible that Biden would step down? Let me type that for you guys. You guys are thinking no, yes. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? I don't know. Will Biden step down? Will Biden step down? Biden's future. Six of Cups. He's very likely to get the nominee again. Six of Cups is to be offered the nomination. So, others in relation. King of Swords. Oh, that's Trump's card. Hopes and fears. Nikki Haley. Trump. Nikki Haley. Final outcome. Four of Pentacles. He's going to have to watch. He's got to. Oh, he's feeling cornered. Issues with Trump. Yeah, Trump isn't going anywhere. Haley is the person to beat. What sign is Haley? Does anybody know? She could really beat him, you guys. I mean, yeah, they're going to have to really hammer home with her, hammer the issues home with this, because you've got 6 of Cups, but he's going to struggle. 9 of Wands. I don't see a future with Trump. You can see 2 of Swords over Trump. Other in Queen of Pentacles with the 10 of Pentacles. Interesting. You know, like the legacy is with this Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Swords is the outcome. Yeah, see, that's got me nervous. That's the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is an Aquarius female. I'm telling you guys, he's really got a problem on his hands with her. Biden is Biden is a what? Cancer? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Biden is a Scorpio. Quite really, I didn't know that. Thank you guys. Still going to be that'll still be a King of Cups. She's a Cap. Oh, Nikki is a Capricorn. Oh, thank God. Really? She is. Nikki Haley is. Oh, thank God. That's a good sign. I was worried because Queen of Swords would indicate justice. So Nikki Haley is Capricorn. Yeah, that's the Queen of Pentacles. That he's the woman to beat. What sign is Harris? Kamala. What sign is she? Just curious. No, if she's Capricorn, then she wouldn't be. She would be the Queen of Pentacles. And then Kamala is a Libra. Oh, then it would say that he would win and that after him would be Kamala. Because if Kamala is the Queen of Swords, they say the future lies with the Queen of Swords. Let's take a look. Thank you, guys. I didn't know what sign everybody was. So the Libra is Kamala, right? Yeah, good. Okay. No, Biden's going to win, and there's going to be some legal, what happens to Trump is that there's some kind of legal thing. I think that it expands, and then what happens is that the GOP may be in a situation where they have to explain previous statements or previous association with certain people because the courts determine. You've got the courts coming in. You've also got a heartbreak for the GOP. It's like these major legal cases start to come up, and then everyone associated with the people that start getting charged or in trouble, etc., are scrambling on the offensive to explain what they did. That would be my best. And the final outcome is the Queen of Swords again. So yeah, I think Biden, and after that, Kamala Harris has a very strong. I think that she's very likely going to be the president. Oh, good. Yeah, that makes sense, Libra. All right. Did everybody have fun? Did we raise a little money today? We did, right? For Ukraine and for, well, not just anyone hungry, but we're focusing on cold parts of the world. All right, everybody. Thanks again for hanging out. If you haven't joined the book club and you want to support a great independent writer, Wingo Fly, Kim Hines, be sure and get your copy as soon as possible. Chuck and I will be getting together to discuss it on Tuesday. And we'll have the Book of the Month Club get together at the end of the month. It'll be really fun. I love sci-fi and I love fantasy, and this is a very creative book. All right, if you're trying to get in for a reading with me, or you need to see me as a naturopathic doctor, you can go ahead and check out the information below. Yes, I'm available for telemedicine if you need a naturopath, if you need an herbalist. Usually you do the intake and then I can ship your herbs to you. All right, so be kind to all so that all can be kind to you too. All right, love and light. We'll see you all later. Thank you, everyone. All right, bye.